Thank you. Good morning. And welcome home to the Monte Vista Unitarian Universalist congregation. Today, we are having a flashback to flowers from last Sunday with our topic today. For those of us who missed last Sunday, sorry. We are also celebrating, some of us, being up the mountain at Camp de Venneville Pines for a shared retreat with the Pacific Unitarian Church. And that's an awesome place. We should all go there and visit. Next Saturday, June 17th at 2 p.m. here in the sanctuary is Maddie Sully's memorial service. Reverend Maggie asked that I be sure to let everyone know that everyone is invited, and we will put more chairs out if needed. So please, 2 p.m. next Saturday. As usual, please read the Community Connections that come out every Thursday. It has all the good stuff that you see on the screen up there. Taco Tuesday is our chat time. It's at 7 p.m. The link gets sent out via email. And RE Sunday is on June 25th. It's going to be an intergenerational service. There are going to be patio activities and fun for both adults and children. So come for the food. And then the young adults will meet after they eat. Thank you.
Don't go too far, Alan. I'm going to need you to light the chalice. Come and light the chalice, and I'll read the chalice lighting words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom. Oh, I did it out of order.
Our magic wand needs charging.
And also light the children's chalice from the Calapayan Church, which was a gift to our RE program. Their children sent it to our children's program. And they'll take it with them when they go to their class. I did that out of order, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, we sound the bull 3 times. Once for those who came before, including the Tongva people who were the original stewards of this land. Once for those here and now, and once for those who will come. Okay. And now, can we open our hymns and stand as you're able to sing number 359, When We Are Gathered. Thank you, everybody. So the lighting are chalice words that I read earlier from where the Passover Haggadah. And now if we can stay standing. Oh, sorry, you already sat down and sing the Spirit of Life. I did it out of order, so we have 2 songs back to back now. That's my fault. But if we could stay standing and sing Spirit of Life, which is number 123 in our hymnal. We'll sing it first in English and then in Spanish. And Jaryus, can you put the covenant up and we'll read the covenant together? We affirm that love is the greatest purpose of this congregation. The search for truth is our constant star, and service is our prayer. We pledge our hearts, minds, and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as a beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in life. And now I'm going to read a story originally written by Ruth E. Gibson called Learning from Daffodils. When you look at a daffodil, there are lots of things you notice. Almost no one ever notices the little withered brown bit at the base of the flower. But it's really important. When the daffodils come up from the ground, it's still pretty hard, and there is sometimes cold and still snow. So at first, the daffodils have a tough green skin protecting their blossom. After it gets warmer, the daffodil doesn't need this protection, and it shrivels off and dies. Often in our lives, just as for the daffodil, some part of us has to shrivel up and die so that some new part of us can grow and give beauty to the world. Oddly enough, though, the dead, shriveled up part of a daffodil doesn't fall away. There are 2 things we can learn from a daffodil to help ourselves and each other. We can be brave and wise enough when the right time comes to push out from under the tough skins of our souls that protect us from all that is hard and harsh that can damage the more fragile parts of ourselves. We can learn some parts of ourselves die so that new parts of ourselves can live in beauty. We can hold on to the shriveled up dead bits, especially if doing so helps us to remember and honor and value all parts of ourselves and all parts of our experiences. Just because we don't need that part or that way of being in the world now doesn't mean that part has no value. It was very necessary to have that protection then, and very good to remember and appreciate it now. And now if all the children present could come up and get our chalice from the Calapayan Church and take it with you to class, we'll sing you out to class. Be very careful. careful with it. I don't normally get to stay in here the whole song. It's nice. Okay, so now we will collect the offering. So please come up to the basket and leave your donation, and Lily will play something beautiful. And I'll now share our joys and concerns that were left in the basket. Emmanuel and Caitlin Salgado said that they are so thrilled and overjoyed to have started a new journey for us, which is founding our nonprofit org, 111 Hope Foundation. This experience has been so different, but nonetheless, we are excited to be able to help people of all walks of life for years and years to come. Alan and Letha have a concern. They said, younger son Michael, age 39, has apparently inherited his dad's proclivity for cancer. He is scheduled for surgery next Tuesday at Huntington's Hospital in Pasadena. It was detected early, and I'm sorry, I can't read. Candles and positive energy are requested. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you. And we have a joy. Doris Warren is here with us again today. And number 2, it says, my granddaughter of the heart graduated from high school on Tuesday. You may remember that the family had an interrupted education due to immigration issues, so we are happy to hear that they graduated. So thank you so much for sharing your joys and concerns with us, and we'll see you on the patio after service, and you can share more. Now I'll read a meditation written by Gwen Matthews called Feel That. Feel that. Every breath, every inhale, exhale, we are living, breathing, connected. We are the whole, complete, beautiful selves that we were born to be. You feel that in your bones, in your muscles, in your heart, and in your blood. That is the extraordinary you. The you who was born for this time, this place, this moment. Feel that? The struggle, the worry, the pain, the loss, the grief. It is still you. You are still whole, complete, beautiful, extraordinary. Feel that. And now, if you'll stand as you're able, we will sing a gentle song, My Life Flows On, an endless song, number 108 in your hymnal, and the words will be on the screen. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for the day. This service is going to be a little bit different than our usual guest speaker. We're going to have a little bit of a conversation. Velvet Penny is a musical collective, a dedicated group of community organizers and artists led by singer-songwriter Marlena Martinez. Marlena has spent the past several years creating All the Flowers, her debut full-length album, community zine, and award-winning music video dedicated to preventing and healing domestic violence. So please welcome Velvet Penny. Yeah. So I'll stand at that one.
Oh.
And because we're going to have a little back.
Okay. All right. Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me here in your space. It's very beautiful, and I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into making music and art, and how you see your role in Velvet Penny?
Well, I began creating art when I was a kid. My grandma had a piano at her house, and she would play some songs and invite me to sing. It was when I became a teenager that my aunt empowered me to write some of my own songs, and let me know that, you know, even if you don't have a band with you, you can still do that yourself. You don't have to rely on other people. And it was just a few years ago that I picked up this project again, and I began to use it more intentionally towards a healing journey.
Even though you're not a Unitarian Universalist, I feel like when I listen to your music, I hear a lot of our values reflected. For instance, when I listen to the song All the Flowers, I hear in your lyrics a call for people to celebrate their own inherent worth and dignity, which reflects our first principle. As a vocalist and community organizer working at the intersection of activism, wellness, and art, you had an artistic residency at Casa Pizza in downtown Ontario, hosted by the arts area, where you offered free education or wellness programs designed to create kinder and safer communities. Can you tell us about your song All the Flowers, what you were thinking about when making it, and why it was important for you to release it in connection to this residency and the zine and all of that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And for those of you in the audience who don't know, zine is sort of a shorthand for a self-produced independent magazine.
Right. So yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces within this whole project. When I first wrote All the Flowers, I was going through a divorce, and it was during that time that I began to write this song. And when I was writing it, I was thinking, you know, this is the worst song that I've ever written, and it's so terribly, I guess, lack for a better word, ugly. But that was fine. You know, sometimes when artists are making something, we may think that it needs to be something that brings beauty into the world, but also we have the responsibility to hold space for the things that aren't so beautiful. And so that in itself was something that, made me want to lean into the true feelings that I was holding at that time. As I continued to develop this idea with All the Flowers, I began to raise money for a music video, and during that time, it became more apparent to me that the reason I needed to make this video was to raise awareness for domestic violence. And furthermore, I wanted to release this video in a community space where I was able to hold accessible art, healing, and wellness programs for people to learn more about what it means to cultivate safe relationships in our community, and be able to hold space for each other within that. Yeah.
One of our other principles is that I feel very strongly is represented in your work is our fourth principle, which affirms the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Your song Judith is about transformation and growth, which really resonates with what I've heard, what you said about writing All the Flowers the whole album, and that it's taken you 10 years of searching for the truth and meaning in your work as a musician, songwriter, and activist and organizer. What does transformation mean to you in this context, and how did you finally resolve the songs to a finished state? What was it that gave you a sense of purpose and finality with the project? You were ready to release it.
There's a lot of questions in there. Well, when I was writing Judith, I think in that song, even if I wasn't fully conscious of it at the time, I was addressing kind of how when we're healing from something that might be traumatic or something that you know, has deeply affected us, we have the option to perpetuate that and reenact those behaviors that we were involved in, or we have the option to transcend that. And that's been, I think that it was at that turning point when I began to realize that this creation process is a process of alchemizing these dissonant, dark, complex emotions that, you know, we all experience as humans, and owning our ability to transform that. A sentiment that was shared to me that has stuck with me and really helped me realize and empowered this project for me is that energy is never destroyed, it's only transformed. And I hope that answers your question.
Sorry, yeah, I wrote these kind of long. Can you add like how you knew that it was finally finished and ready to be released, or?
Well, yeah, the process of writing everything, yeah, it took me a long time. I wrote these songs over the course of 10 years, and then I finally was able to compile them after doing a lot of work that had nothing to do with creating art. There was a big period of time where I just had to step away from being involved in the arts and putting myself out there as an output, and just give myself the time to work in nature, to just exist. And from there, I was able to, once I kind of took care of my inner well more, then I was able to return back to this pile of, I like to call them like time capsules of, you know, what was happening for me during those times. Go back to those, reopen them, and then rewrite the story. So I was looking at all of these songs were capsulations of times that weren't that great in my life. And then once I was able to come back to them and hold them up in the air and allow them to set me free from what had happened, then that's when I knew that it was finished. Yeah.
Awesome. And can you tell us, I mentioned earlier you had the artist residency at the Casa Pitzer. Can you tell us what that was, what that entailed, and how that came together?
Yeah, so the artist residency over at Casa Pitzer was again a part of my initiative to help raise awareness around domestic violence and to be able to create a space for people to prevent that through art, wellness, and healing workshops. So I used my music video as a catalyst to invite people into the art show and have them watch the music video, have an introduction to my art. There was a lot of interactive pieces that were also part of the art show. In the music video, there's a scene with a coffin, and so we included the coffin in the art show and allowed people to walk through it into a tiny room that was called the eulogy room, and I left a blank notebook in there for people to just write down something that they wanted to let go of, something that they were, you know, saying goodbye to, giving peace and grace to. And I continue to host these different workshops to help people express themselves, to help people get into their bodies, and yeah, and find each other, hear each other, and celebrate each other.
And can you tell us what's next for you and where people can find you online if they're interested in learning more?
Yeah, sure. So right now I'm in the process of writing more music. And if you're interested in learning more about my projects, then you can visit me on my website, velvetpenny.com. I'll also be performing out in this area next month, and you're all welcome to come. But it is at a bar, so I don't know if that's if that's your scene. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming to our church and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you.
Can
It's
you
been a
play
pleasure.
little something for us?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you all again for listening to some of my music and my story. This first song is called All the Flowers, and it is the title track of my project. Live with me. I'll provide everything you need. I have lived and died with you. Yes, that much we did do, and we did cut our roots. If there's one thing I know, a vase is not a home when the water's brewing trouble all the time. All the flowers, yeah. All the flowers, oh. All the flowers have very extra special powers. They sit and talk and talk and talk to me for hours. In this world of my own. In this world of my own. Ba 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 ba. do now? What will she do? What will she do? You then go on and find that key, the one they say unlocks eternity. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Marlene. So now we'll sing our sending song, We Leave This Friendly Place. If you can all stand and as you're able, and if Jaryus can get the lyrics on the screen. Thank you so much. And now, if we will extinguish the chalice with these words, may you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together, becoming our better selves. And Lily will play our postlude, and we'll say blessed be. And please remember again to come to Maddie Scully's memorial service on Saturday. Hearing these hymns without her booming, beautiful voice is always a little bit bittersweet, because I miss hearing that in the halls. So please come to that service.